So one question that I get asked a lot is, what is the healthy range of sales that you should get for your restaurant? I'll give you a quick breakdown. So the healthy range will be somewhere between 400K to 600K. I'll explain why. Because during those range, it's usually where all the basic costs are covered, and also if the food cost and the labor costs are well controlled, you will have a decent profit margin. And from that moment on, some franchisee will decide to try to push it to $1 million sales yearly, and others will prefer to open a second location, third location. And for the owner operator, usually what they want is to be able to have as much profit as possible from one existing location. And they will just try to push the sales and also be able to keep things well under control, well managed. So this way they will make a very good profit margin. So I'll give you an example of a owner operator that was able to have a well structured system for himself, and now he's been pushing to $1 million sales yearly. This is the owner of Sushi Sama in the Mall. So this is a very good example of how much profit you can make with only one existing store, with only one location. And the other example is, I have another franchisee that he preferred to have multiple locations. But imagine if you have to manage multiple locations and not be there physically yourself. It's going to be very stressful if you have 3 stores that have over $1 million sales. So what he prefer, and this is what we suggest too, is to have 3 stores into the healthy, easy to manage range that is in between 400 to 600K. So this way he will have a decent profit margin through multiple locations and not having the headache to mismanage things. And also he doesn't have to be physically there every single day. So the moment that you get a start, you will start discovering more about yourself, and also you will understand a little bit more, and you will also see what kind of operator you are, and also which direction you will tend toward more. When I first started, I just wanted to push my first restaurant as much style as possible. But one day I just realized that there's limit into the physical human capacity. I cannot be pushing that hard for 2 decades in a row. It's gonna be almost impossible. So what I was thinking and how I should do it is, hey, how about I just put a little bit less focus on pushing the sales, but probably open a second location and see how the flow goes. So I've been the operator that was doing crazy hours, crazy sales, going through extreme stressful moment in the restaurant, to having multiple locations that was doing good, and I was able to pull myself out of the business. So the harder you push a single location does not mean it's not good. You will still make a very good profit, because in restaurant business, the top of the sales is always the highest margin that you can get. But you have to ask yourself again, how long do you want to keep pushing this way? Probably you should consider some days that maybe you want a family or just more time for yourself. So think in the other way. Probably just keep yourselves in the healthy range and have multiple locations. Have the right people that works with you and for you to run those business. That's how I saw it back in the days, and that's how I did it, and this is how I want you to potentially do it too. Because you might compare our brands with some very popular brand out there as our competitor. You will see they're having a full staff, 7 people working, line up, crazy sales. But is the profit actually there? Is the stress actually worth it? Think about it. See for yourself. So the second topic is, what if your sales does not meet the bare minimum? I'm not gonna lie, this is something that can really happen to you. And before even thinking about increasing the sales, probably you should relook at your own product on what you're selling yourself. Imagine if you go to a restaurant, you get bad service. They offer you a product that are not fresh. Probably all the operational side of the business that are not doing good, it's on you, because it's you not doing the right thing at first. Look at the freshness of your product. Look at the cleanness of the restaurant. There's a lot of factors. One bad experience can lead to customer not coming back, and also not referring other customers to come. So you really need to check on the business yourself. Come in as a customer, feel it, like if you like it or not, because for sure you do go to other restaurants too, and there are reasons why you keep going back to the same restaurant. There might be something that you like, and this is what you have to give back to your own customer. And this is only half of the problem. What if you have a good service and you don't have a good product? The freshness is not good. The product you deliver is not even presentable. It's not tasty, it's not consistent, it's not even good looking. So there's a lot of factors that you really need to consider. These are the 2 big things that might turn away your customers. If those 2 points are well controlled and managed, now I'm gonna explain you 3 ways you can increase the sales. So you have to do those things in the right order. Focus on the easiest way first because you have to play it smart. You have to do it the way that is going to be the most efficient possible. Number one, just make people spend a little bit more whenever they come, every time they come. It's not something that I created. You can base that off through McDonald's. Number two, just look around your business. Look for the people that will more likely to come back more often. So probably local business owners, office workers, and also students. You really need to think and see and understand and find a way to make them come back a little bit more often. So these will be the people that will keep coming back to you, keep giving you more sales. So those are the most important people that you need to focus on. So only by covering those 2 points, you will basically be able to cover all your basic expenses and also generate a good amount of sales. That's the whole point of a local physical business. So the third and last point is usually what people make the most mistakes on. If they see the sales is not good, they will just think about acquiring new customers. So what does that mean? That means that acquiring new customer needs money to be spent. And if you're generating not enough sales already to cover the basic expense, how do you have money to spend to acquire new customers? So the best way to do is to focus on the 2 points that I mentioned earlier. So making your customer spend a little bit more and your existing customer come back a little bit more often. And also, the best part is when you master those two, you can apply it after when you start acquiring new customers. So when the new customer comes in, you have already all the skills. So after you just kind of rinse and repeat the same 3 things. You just focus on those 3 one at a time, and then just keep coming back, and then your sales is gonna keep on increasing. And after that, you master the first 2 and also getting the new customers, you will be jumping into, I'll call it the big players game. This is where you want to look at events that are coming, probably if there's any activities around the neighborhood. You can even focus on getting catering orders, getting tourists that comes in, they want to visit your restaurant. There's a lot of ways to bring in, and those usually are one-time transaction. So you make sure you can make the best out of it. Tourists that comes in, if they like the product, they will go back further, they will refer to their own families and friends, and catering orders too. This is very good for visibility. So now that I talk about how to increase the sales, let's go back to talking about cost control. We want you to focus on making sure that labor costs and food costs are both below 30% each. The main reason why is, imagine 30% food costs, 30% labor costs, and there's 5% royalties, 2% marketing fees, you're already up to 67%. And there's the rent that we always make sure to be under 10%, and then all the other fixed costs. So now you can still have a healthy 9% profit margin, and which, by the way, most of the other franchise business model that you see out there, they only have a 5 to 10% profit margin. And food costs, what do you have to look for, and how can you make sure that it's under 30%? Make sure you don't waste it. That's a first. But how do you actually do it is make sure you have a good rotation. The portion control is important for the food cost, and also make sure that the freshness is well maintained so there is no waste. And secondly, you understand that the reason why we said you make your customer order a drink, this is one of the highest profit margin you can get in the restaurant. So be smart with your food cost. So don't over order it. So after the food cost, the other big one is the labor cost, which I also recommend to make it under 30%. And how do you actually do it? Just be efficient with the work. When you do the training, you have to learn as much as you can and make sure you're the best performing person in your own store. Because otherwise, you will not be able to have efficient employees working for you. And one thing that at Franchisor we're doing very, very well is makes hiring and training easy, which is why most of our franchisee can easily control labor costs under 30%. And also the reason why our franchisee can open multiple locations, because it doesn't take an engineer to put together a poke bowl or to make an onigiri. And for the rent, most of the time we keep it under 10%, and the others are just normal fixed costs plus royalties and marketing fees. And if you do the calculation right, you can have a very healthy profit margin at the end of the year, which is something, by the way, at Franchisor we make sure you get it right. So long story short, the game is not that hard. Just control your costs well and make sure your sales are at a healthy level, and then you can rinse and repeat. And that's how we got over 100 locations. I hope you find this video helpful, and if you have any topics you want me to cover in the following videos, just comment below.